welcome back to KAMMA. I'm Khalil Deal.
I'm Andio.
And we are KAMMA, about to talk about UFC 308 Abu Dhabi, our final predictions, thoughts, and face-offs for the prelims. This event is going to be amazing. Just finished watching the face-offs, and we're super excited, man. Can't wait to get into this with the first fight of the prelims. We got Reet Fov versus Carlos Leal. And I'll let you start this one off, Andio. Who do you got in this one?
Yeah, so I'm going to be sticking with Carlos Leal, who actually went down a little bit in value. I noticed they also put this fight to the first fight of the card, and it wasn't before. So maybe they feel Reynat's not going to bring it completely this fight. I like the way Leal also looked. He's more built than Fakhretdinov, but I feel Fakhretdinov's going to get tired anyway. And I wouldn't be surprised if Leal actually tries a takedown himself, because he's not bad, at takedowns and on the ground either. I hope if Fakhretdinov comes out very strong that he'll survive the beginning, because that's what you really have to do against Reynat, is survive the fire, survive those early takedowns, because his striking is not all that much, and it's the threat of the takedown which makes his striking more dangerous than it is, I think. So give me a Leal by decision or knockout.
Man, I swear to God, if you hit on this one, I am going to give you major props for hitting on dog plays because, man, this is a huge dog play that you're doing here. I am definitely sticking with Reet Fov in this one. Now, Carlos Leal is thicker and more muscular than Fakhretdinov, and he's ripped. So that I got to give you that. Carlos Leal's in fantastic shape. I noticed some acne though on Carlos Leal's on his cheek, a bit of it on his chest, and a bit on his upper chest and neck. He's got some acne there, which is definitely an indication of some juicing.
Yeah, man, it's going to make him better this fight for sure.
Guy's on something for sure. He's definitely on the juice. Fakhretdinov is a bit taller, as we can see here. He's also a bit leaner. He's more ripped than Carlos Leal.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he's more ripped. He's more ripped, like as far as because he's skinnier, so he's more ripped. But Carlos Leal, like I just finished saying, Carlos Leal's in better shape. He's more muscular. He's thicker. Leal is in better shape though, but Fakhretdinov is more leaner and more ripped, and obviously a little bit taller there. Fakhretdinov looks very confident and ready to go. I still think that he outworks Carlos Leal on the ground. I think that he lands some good strikes. I just think he's a bit better than Carlos Leal, but like you said, man, Leal could upset, man. You know what I mean? So, but I just don't think that he's going to do it in this one. I think that Fakhretdinov is going to be able to use his skills on the ground, in the clinch, and get to take down Carlos Leal and use his ground game, man. And that's where I think he has the advantage there. So I got Reet Fov to win this one. And I have him winning by decision or maybe a submission. I think he might even be able to latch in a submission on Carlos Leal if he gets him in a good position on the ground. So we're still in disagreement with the first fight of the prelims. Let's move on up to the next fight here. All right. So we got Ismael Nordiev against Bruno Silva. So for this one, man, I got to stick with Ismael Nordiev here. Now, Ismael and Bruno's face-off was very intense, as you can see. Like, they're both, getting in each other's face. The picture shows that they're close, but at one point, their foreheads were touching, and they were, moving in and out with their foreheads, and they were, pissed off at each other. They looked like they were ready to kill each other, man. Bruno looks in great shape, I gotta say. He really looks good. He's slightly taller than Nordiev. Nordiev is actually in pretty decent shape. It's just that he didn't take his shirt off, so we can't really see in this photo, but he's also in decent shape. But Bruno Silva, man, he came in there looking pretty ripped and pretty built. This fight's going to be a banger. I really think that this fight's going to be crazy. But I got the lean on Nordiev to win this one by KO or submission. I think this fight does not go the distance, and somebody's getting finished in this. But I'm going to go with Nordiev to win by KO or submission. What about you, Andio?
Yeah, I feel Nordiev just has to be careful of De Silva's power, because I feel he leaves himself open a little bit too much sometimes at Nordiev. But if he does, I feel that he's going to end up getting the sub on Bruno Silva at some point, since Bruno Silva is very susceptible to that. And I think Nardiev knows that. And yeah, Nardiev's not in bad shape. I think he actually had that shirt off just before for that fake weigh-in picture, right? Right before they get here. And then he put it back on. Anyway, yeah, so I don't really have much faith in Bruno Silva, especially after what he lost three in a row now, I think, or was it two? Either way, especially.
It wasn't looking good for Bruno Silva, man. Like,
Yeah.
let me.
And and again, after those Weidman eye pokes, his vision, there could be something a little wrong there too. So yeah, give me Nardiev by submission or knockout. Let's see if I see a finish in this fight. And if Nardiev doesn't get it, I think Silva will. So give me Nardiev by finish.
All right, man. So there you have it, man. We're in agreement with the second fight of the prelims. Let's move on up now to the next fight here. We got Farid Basharat versus Victor Hugo.
Oh, okay. So this fight, Victor Hugo came in trying to look like the excuse me, trying to look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, outweighing Basharat by 10 pounds. So they made it a catch weight of some sort, and they're still fighting, even though Hugo came in that much overweight. I still pick Basharat there. Basharat was pretty intense during the face-off, or at least as intense as Basharat ever gets. And maybe he wasn't too happy with Hugo's missed weight, and Hugo just smiled at him the whole time, and there we go. I don't think it's going to give too much of an advantage to Hugo unless he decides to be a pure wrestler and like out of nowhere, which I don't think he'll really do. And I think it'll may even make him a bit slower than Basharat overall in this fight, being so overweight. So we'll see, but I got Basharat winning a comfortable unanimous decision.
All right, man. And to answer your question from earlier, it was Bruno Silva had lost three in a row, by the way.
Three in a row. There you go.
So yeah, in this fight here, Farid Basharat, man, he looks super hyper, man. He came out, he was moving back and forth, jumping up and down. He was super hyped up.
Yeah, he never acted like that before.
I know, like he's like, walking back and forth, like he's ready to go. Like he's in great shape, though, man. He's ripped. He's muscular. Victor Hugo, though, is also very built and muscular and ripped as well. And he looked thicker, and now I know why. Because of obviously the missing weight by so much. That's why he looks so much thicker than Farid. But when Farid bulks up on fight night, he'll look better for sure there. Farid was talking shit to Victor probably about the weight cut. And like I said, he was bouncing up and down. Victor remained calm the whole time. Like I said, Farid is super hype and ready to go. And he's ready for this fight, man. I think Farid's going to win this fight by pure grappling and takedowns and work on the ground. I think he's going to work the submissions in this one, man. I think he's going to try to get Victor Hugo in a bad spot on the ground and try to get that submission. I got him winning by sub or decision. And yeah, we're in agreement here with Farid Basharat here.
Nice.
I think Victor Hugo can win this fight, man, at all. All right, so we're in agreement. Let's move on up to the next fight. We got Kennedy Chuu versus your boy Chris Barnett.
Let's not go crazy here.
Who you got here, Andy?
Okay, yeah. Well, my pick is in Chuu. Could these guys get any further apart during the face-off? I was happy that Chris Barnett made weight because I think the guy's missed weight by 20 pounds a few times in his career. So it's good to see him on the mark. I'm hoping for a head kick to the head at some point to get Barnett the victory. But I think Chuu is going to end up putting him away, let's just say at some point with something. I'm not confident in Chuu at all. He really has to win this fight. If not, he should get out of the UFC and really work on his skills. But I still say Barnett can kick him in the head and even punch him in the head. Yeah, man. So there you go. So that's what I'm looking. The thing I'm looking forward to most in this fight is if Barnett manages to clip Chuu with his foot somehow in the head.
Like I said, man, if that happens, I'll drink a beer out of my shoe. If he able to land a kick to the head of Chuu, I'll drink a beer out of my shoe. I promise you.
I'd like to see it. So let's clarify though that the head means like the head, right?
He's got to
Like
kick. He's got to kick him in anywhere in the head.
on the chin counts,
Anywhere in the head.
on
I,
the on top of the head, like he kicked Gian Vellante. He kicked him, knocked him out on the top of the head. Gian Vellante's what, 6'3", 6'4"? This guy's what, like 6'7"? I think he definitely can hit his chin, if anything. Maybe not the top of the head. But there you go. Really looking forward to this fight because of that reason alone. And yeah, in Chuu by finish. What about you?
all right. So Kennedy Nzechukwu is looking in really, really good shape here. He's built. He looks lean and muscular. Chris Barnett looks in terrible shape, man. He looks like a short blubber of fat. You actually saved us here by taking the picture with his shirt off here. For anybody who was actually eating or anything like that, you saved the disgusting look of Chris Barnett, man. This guy just looked absolutely horrible. I don't even know how he gets that athleticism with that much fat on his body. The height difference is just insane. You can see how much taller Kennedy is. I think he's going to finish Chris Barnett, man. Chris Barnett, man, he looks way too happy to be in there. As you can see, smiling like a kid in a candy store.
Happy guy.
Probably just ate a piece of cake before coming out there. That's why he's so happy. I just can't see Chris Barnett winning this fight, other than a freakish lucky punch or a kick somehow that he could possibly win this fight. I just don't see it, man. Nzechukwu, I see him like throwing some knees, just lifting his knee. He'll land a knee on this guy's head. That's how short he is. I can see him throwing some punches, some elbows.
That's a worry for sure. Like knees to Barnett there for sure. That's a worry for it.
Yeah, man. I think he'll just knee him and throw some knees and hit him in the chin or the head. I think it's going to be a bad knockout or maybe even a submission for Nzechukwu here. I think Nzechukwu destroys Chris Barnett here in this fight by KO or submission. All right, moving on up the card. We got here Abus Magomedov against Bruno Ferrera. So in this one here, who do you got? Is it my turn or your turn?
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah. So So in this one here, man, Bruno Ferrera is not as ripped as I thought he was going to be. He used to be way more ripped, way more jacked. I think he's maybe off the juice or something. He's still big and muscular, but Abus Magomedov is in way better shape, man. He looks phenomenal, Abus, man. He's taller, he's more built, he's more ripped. He's actually more muscular than Bruno Ferrera as well. He just looks bigger, man. So I've now switched my pick. I switched my pick. I am now going for Abus Magomedov to get the win in this one. Man, I just think he looks very serious. Look at him there, how he's staring him down. He looks super serious. If he mixes in the takedowns, I think he could beat Bruno. I think he's going to land some powerful punches on Bruno. I think Bruno might gas out even. I think Abus's his cardio is better. And yeah, man, I switched my pick, man. I'm going with Abus Magomedov. Like I said, I had Bruno Ferrera in the early predictions, but I'm going with Abus now in these final predictions, man. I think Abus can get the win here. He just looks so much better and in greater shape than, and he looks stronger too. So I got Abus Magomedov winning this one. I have him winning by KO or decision. What about you, Andy?
No, man. Despite the way you may think he looks, it's not going to change the way he fights or the way that he's going to lose this fight. He's not good on the back foot. Bruno Ferreira's just going to pressure him. That's not going to go away, Bruno's Ferreira style. And Abus gets tired when you pressure him. Abus looks very good when he's the hammer, not the nail. So if all goes well, I expect Ferreira to put him away before Bruno Ferreira gets tired. And so I suppose we're calling a round one knockout for Bruno Ferreira here.
All right. Look, we'll talk about the betting there. I'm not going to say that there's no chance that Bruno could win with a knockout or anything like that. But I think that Abus can pull this one off. A slight lean here on Abus to get the win. Change my pick. All right, let's move on up. So we're in disagreement now with this one. Let's move on up to the next fight here. We got Mateusz Rebecki versus Miktebek or Motobek Orolbai.
All right, I'm got to stick with Orolbai. I think... Yeah, the same reasons. I think he'll survive the early pressure by Rebecca. I think he's a better striker. I think he's going to use that reach to his advantage, and I have a feeling Rebecca's going to get tired pretty fast. I think Oralbai is going to have more gas in the tank later in the fight and learn from that last fight he had against Elvis Brenner, who really tested him because Brenner looked real good in that fight. So yeah, still give me. You can't really tell how Oral By looks, but he looked pretty good before he put that flag back on, like on the scale there, right before they got there. So yeah, give me Oral by knockout or decision. Probably decision.
All right, so yeah, I'm definitely in agreement here. I'm sticking with Motobek or Miktebek Oral By.
Picked it back.
Mateus Rebecki and Miktebek Oralbai are both in amazing shape, man. These guys are muscular, they're built, they're ripped. Oralbai is a little bit taller, but Rebecki is a bit thicker and a little bit more muscular. Can't really see it in this photo, but when you see him coming out in the face-offs and the front view there, you can see that he's thicker. I think Miktebek is going to have more better cardio. I think he's going to be faster. Although Mateus did look kind of fast in the face-offs there, jumping around, running up to the podium there and stuff. But yeah, Miktebek's going to have a better ground game, I feel. I think he's going to be stronger, and I just think that he's going to be able to outwork Mateus Rebecki, tire him out, get him in the clinch, get him down, tire him out, and eventually get the win. So I got him finishing him off by KO or submission here in the later rounds. All right, so we're in agreement still on this one. Let's move on up to the next fight here. We got Jeff Neal versus Rafael dos Anjos. Jeff Neal and Rafael dos Anjos, these guys are in great shape, phenomenal shape, especially dos Santos for 40 years old, man. The guy looks incredible. He's built, he's big, he's muscular, he's ripped. Jeff Neal is also in phenomenal shape, man. He's a bit more ripped, though, Jeff Neal, than RDA. He's also muscular, but RDA is a little bit thicker. Jeff Neal's taller. What I like about Jeff Neal in this fight here, man, people are forgetting that Jeff Neal is really good at takedown defense, man. He's got an 87% takedown defense. So if he can fend off those takedowns from RDA, man, I think he can win this fight. I think he's a better striker than RDA. I think he's going to land some better punches, some harder punches. He's got power in his hands. So I think he's going to land a powerful knockout punch in this one. I got Jeff Neal to win this one by knockout or decision. But there is a threat of RDA. If he can get Jeff Neal down, it could be a problem for Jeff Neal there if RDA gets his ground game going. So Jeff Neal's got to keep this fight standing. He's got to fend off those takedowns and land some serious punches on Dos Anjos, man. Not to mention, it's going to be the guy's birthday, too. So he's going to have a little bit of extra motivation there, RDA. So he's got to be careful. But I got Jeff Neal winning by KO or decision. What about you, Dio?
Yeah, I got Jeff Neal also. Yeah, RDA looked better this time than he did his last fight at this point, I think. Last time he looked worse than he did previous, and this time he looks better. So yeah, give me Neal's superior boxing. Like, Dos Anjos has good boxing too, but not better than Neal, and Neal hits harder. I think Neal will end up fending off some takedowns and getting up, if not just lasting the round at least. I think just the youth and the power and the fact that he wants to be champion still, and he thinks he's got the short end of the stick all this time. So we have a bitter guy that still wants the title against a much older guy that shouldn't really be winning this fight, and that's about it. So give me Neal by decision.
All right, we're in agreement with this one as well. Perfect. Let's move on up to the main event of the prelims. We got Ibo Aslan versus Rafael Cerqueira. So for this one here, who you got, Andy? I think it's your turn now.
I still got to go with Cerqueira here. Does Ibo look more or less pumped and all of that stuff as before?
Yeah, no, he's definitely he's not as juiced as he used to look. Yeah, you're right.
He's a slightly less juiced up, I would say. But look, the guy packs a powerful punch from anywhere. But I think Cerqueira is more versatile. Like I said before, I think he's going to catch him with a nice time spot. Maybe a spinning elbow would be nice as as Aslan gets a little tired, because Aslan does get tired. Sakura likes to be in the dominant position in the center of the cage, and I think Aslan likes to as well. So we'll see from the very beginning who establishes that dominant position, and I think it's going to be Sakura. By dominant position, I mean just a slight, movement ahead, with him in the center of the cage. Nothing like crazy, but you're going to see that Sakura is going to be the one trying to lead the dance. Give me Sakura by knockout or decision.
All right. Well, I was very happy to see the size of Rafael Sakura here, man.
I
He's
knew he would stack up real nice against this guy, and yeah.
Yeah, man. He's so much taller than Ibo Aslan. He's in great shape. He's big. He's muscular. He's ripped. Ibo Aslan is also in great shape. He's muscular, but he's not as ripped as Rafael. And like I said, he did look a little less built than before. He looks like a little less juiced. He used to be jacked, and now he's lost it a little bit. This fight's going to be a banger, man. I don't think this is going to go the distance. I like the advantage of Rafael Cerqueira training with Jailton Almeida. I think that his grappling is going to be much better. I think that he's going to be able to take him down. I think he's going to be able to use his jiu-jitsu. I got Rafael Cerqueira winning by KO or submission, man. I think he finishes at Ibo Aslan, but there is still that threat of Ibo with the knockout power punch that can happen. So keep an eye out for that. But the pick is going to be Rafael Cerqueira by KO submission. So there you have it, folks. Our final predictions, thoughts, and face-offs for the prelims. Stay tuned. Coming up next is going to be the main card. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment for the algorithm. You know how the algorithm works. Peace out, folks. KAMMA.